Today I'm talking to you about my portfolio. I have taken this class one other time. I made it through the whole class, got up to this point with portfolio, and I hadn't done one piece of paper. I'm not a paper person, and I missed one speech. And I told Dr. Venditti, I said, I don't have my portfolio because I didn't do any papers. And I also missed one speech. He says, well, we'll be more than happy to have you back next quarter, Michelle. And I thought, well, you know, that was good because I really enjoyed this class, really did. I did this time. I couldn't come back that time because that class was canceled and they put me in another English class, which I wasn't going to go to. But this time, as you can see, I have got some papers. I don't have them all, but I do have some. Made all my speeches. Wasn't so bad. Learn more every time. I really do enjoy it. The speech, one speech I wanted to talk about was the speech were the live speeches. I went to went to Peter and the Wolf, it was an orchestra, and then I went to another orchestra, and also Women Fight Back, that was cool, that was the only one that wasn't an orchestra. Peter and the Wolf was cool. I talked about that before. I found this picture that reminded me of Peter because he had wolf ears, and then he has some little people climbing up his, like the wolf that they had a parade to wolf out. That was kind of cool. And it's one of my favorite stories. That's what I talked about. Another one was my dog. I talked about my pumpkin noodle made me so happy to have a dog, a little one. And I also talked about the past speech was my mom's retirement speech. I got a couple of pictures of her before she retired. I got one on the flash drive, at least I think, but I don't know if, and that was just taken the other day. But I don't know if I really got it on the flash drive because I don't know how to run the flash drive. So this is kind of, but this was my mom. That was about 2 years before she retired. 30 years ago. So I enjoyed her retirement speech. I'm going to go to humor now. I hadn't been to school in 35 years and decided to come back to school. I always swore I wasn't going to have a telephone. It wasn't attached to the wall because I didn't, it was like talking to yourself, walking around with the telephone. So it was a long time before I got a cordless one. As far as computers went, I certainly wasn't going to have one of those. Didn't need one, I could write letters or call somebody if I wanted any information. Well, the first quarter in Andy Fritz's class, my environmental science, first day, you get your syllabus, and then he gave us a CD and some other papers. And he says, well, watch this. This is going to say what's yet to come on this quarter. So I took it home, and on the way home, I put it in my CD player, and nothing happened. So I got home, and I put the CD in my CD player. Still nothing happened. I went and bought a CD player. The thing didn't work. So the next day, this is about third day in the class, after not being in school for 35 years, I went in to Andy and I said, Andy, you forgot to record something on this CD. There's nothing on it. I bought one and listened to it. Nothing. I put it in, nothing happened. He says, well, Michelle, it's a DVD. Did you try it on the computer? I felt so dumb. I thought he was the only one in the class. But after being out of school for 35 years. So I had a lot of adjustments to do. And that, along with the paperwork. But this is my last quarter, I think. I hope if I pass these classes. and I've really enjoyed it. You know, the young people, and all the people in the class are so smart. They come out of high school and it's incredible, you know, what all you guys know. Well, that was part of the comedy. Another one, this here is a rat. My sister lives up in Seattle. She bought a house like 25 years ago in the Central District. A real nice house, you know, immaculate. She's a great teacher up in Edmonds, and her house is always spotless. Well, she always thought she heard things in the walls like rats, but you could never tell where it was coming from. And one night she was sleeping, and all of a sudden she felt this across her bed, and she had, the way she has pets is goldfish, and then she finally got a bird. That's the extent of her pets. And she knew that it wasn't a bird, it was a rat. So the next day she called, there's a rat outfit that comes and catches your live rats and live traps. Well, she has this, before she bought the house, they had an addition on the house, and there was a crawl space underneath it, and you had to go through her son's bedroom to get to the crawl space. It had a dirt floor. You had to bend about that far, and she'd put all her Christmas stuff in there. Things hadn't been, you know, for 10 years or so, and she knew the rats were in there, so she never took anything out. So that's where she wanted those rat people to, they also emptied things out, so they had to haul the stuff out of the rat, out of the hole, through Andrew's bedroom, out through the basement, and into this big truck. And so they got there early in the morning, and then and Linda wasn't feeling well, so she was laying upstairs on the couch by the window. And lunchtime came, and the two guys went to lunch. And then she wondered why it took, you know, they were out there a long time, and they were just standing around. She thought, well, why aren't these guys working? You know, they had their lunch and they're just standing around. Well, pretty soon there was a knock on the door. And Linda answered the door, and this detective says, he's from Seattle Police Department, can you please step out here, I want to talk to you. And so she did, and said, are you aware of what's in your basement, what they have found down there? And she says, well, no, rats, mice, you know. And in the meantime, she saw these guys getting all suited up.
Oh.
Hazmat folks. And she said, well, we found this jar, a clear jar, like a big pickle jar, with some fluid in it, and looks like a human heart.
Oh, what?
And Linda's saying, what, you know, and the detectives are thinking, this here lady's protecting her son, you know, it's one of the mass murders. Well, the guys that were cleaning it, they were cleaning it out, you know, and they came past like Playboy, and well, this is normal stuff for a teenage boy to have down here, and they picked up this jar, and they said, well, you know, this isn't, what's going on here, another jar, some icky stuff. So they called their boss, and they said, you know, this is what we found. And also, he said, in the dirt floor, all of a sudden, it didn't feel like it was solid. So they hurried up and went out, you know, to lunch, called the boss. They said, well, don't go back in. No problem, he says, I'm not going back in there. And does the homeowner know? No, we didn't tell her. So that's when the detectives and everybody came. And they wanted him, and Andrew, he's a security guard in Bellevue, because they really wanted to talk to him to find out what this was. And Linda looks at it and she says, well, you know, it looks like a roast to me. And the detective says, well, you know, it does kind of look like a roast. And so the hazmat guys went in, because they were pretty much figured then that it was floating around in some kind of solution that Andrew had conjured up when he was in school, and it was a roast. Well, they didn't say it was a roast, but they kind of figured it was. And there was cardboard across the dirt floor, and so they pulled it up, and underneath that was a bunch of old clothes that somebody, you know, when they sold the house, they put a bunch of clothes down and put cardboard over it, so that's why he felt. Well, Linda says, you got to come up here, Michelle. So I got up there, and the guys were just finishing. They were out in the road getting the last bit of it out.